Good morning, everybody. We're going to do our phonics lesson together again today. All the classes in school together and the children who are still at home who will be watching us. And today we're going to look at this sound. Please, can you tell me, what does this sound say? E. It does. You're right. It does sometimes say E. What else does it say? Who remembers? Aaron. Oh, fantastic. What a superstar. It sometimes says E, but it sometimes says E, as if the A wasn't there. It just says E. So sometimes says E and sometimes says E. And just like yesterday, we are going to just try it on for size and see which one sounds right. Okay, so if E doesn't sound right and you think that doesn't sound like a word, we're going to try instead. So let's sound out some of our words. So I want you to be sitting up straight, please, and sounding out the word on your own first, and then I will help you sound it out afterwards. So here is the word. So breed. Breed is breed? No. Bread. Bread. I will eat some bread for my breakfast. Bread. Okay. Here is another one. Okay. Feather. Is feather a word? Feather. Okay, this one is a tricky one, and when you say this word, quite often you get your F and your th the wrong way around. So have a look carefully. It's at the beginning and in the middle. So we have feather. 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 Okay, well done. Here we have an alien word. So it doesn't really matter. It could be either. So let's have a go and make it say both. Pleek. It could say pleek to rhyme with beak, but it could also say, you're right, p-l-ek. But usually when it's followed by a K, it makes an E sound. But you will know that once you've done a lot more reading, you will know that usually it says E when it's followed by a K. But it doesn't matter because it's an alien word, so it could say either. So let's have a look at our next one. So here we have D. What do you think it says? Right, let's sound it out together then. Instead. Instead. There's no such word as instead, but instead. I would like cucumber instead of tomato. Instead. Instead. Okay. So, next one. Stell. Is stell a word? No, let's try the other one. E-O. Don't steal the chips off my plate. Steal. Steal. Well done. Okay, next one. Hello, my group have gone to sleep. Are we ready? E-D-E. Steady. Is steady a word? No, but steady is a word. Well done. Steady. Steady. Remember, when we have this Y at the end of a word, it either makes an I sound or an E sound, and here it makes an E sound. Steady. Steady, steady. Okay. Is that a word? No. It actually is the name of a place, but this can't be the name of a place because it doesn't have a capital letter. Well done, Hamish. So this is a word. Let's read it with the E sound. Please be quiet, I'm reading. Eva says that a lot in our bubble because our bubble is very noisy. Right, here we have, look, here is Miss Fother's funny looking alien. Let's sound this word out. G-R-E-E-P, greep. It could say greep or it could say g-r-e-p, grep. But usually when it's followed by a P in English, it makes the E sound. But it doesn't matter because it's a nonsense word. It could be either. So have a look at this one. Leaping. Is that a word? Yes, you do a lot of leaping at playtime at the moment. You've got lots of energy. So leaping is jumping from one foot to another one foot to the other foot, isn't it? From one foot to the other foot. So leaping, we do a lot of leaping. And our last one. Screm. Is screm a word? Scream. Scream. No, ice cream needs the ice on the front of it. This is scream when you're making a noise in the playground whilst you're leaping. Scream. Scream. Okay, super duper. Let us write some words now. So remember, we're using this grapheme for the E sound and for the F sound in today's word. So your first word is steam. Steam came out of the kettle. Steam. Sound it out and put your sound buttons on, please. Steam. Steam. Steam came out of the kettle. Mrs. Hudson makes lots of steam when she has her bath. Steam. Steam. Okay. Next word, remember we're using this for the F sound as well. The next word is breath. I held my breath whilst I walked over the bridge. Breath. B-r-f. Breath. I held my breath. 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 How are we doing? Watch me, my children, please. Look at Miss Fothers right now. The word is breath. I'll say that to you as well because I've just seen. The word is breath. Look at Miss Fothers at the sound I am making at the end of the word breath. I don't think I could stick my tongue out much further. You better get that right. Breath. Okay. Oh, that's better. I've seen some F's changed to THs, thank goodness. Remember, Emily, this is the spelling we're using for the F sound today. Okay, so our third word, our long word is screaming. Screaming. So it's one of those we have to stretch out. R-E-M-E-M. Okay, so let me start over here. S-C-R-E-M-E-M. Screaming. S-C-R-E-M-E-M. Whoops. 7 phonemes in that word. S-C-R-E-M-E-M. Screaming. Screaming. And Miss Fothers will be screaming if you don't put instead of. Okay. Excellent. You've got an extra in there, Lila. Well done. Screaming. Well done. Well done. Okay. And our last long word, using this grapheme to spell the F sound. Breakfast. Breakfast. What will I have for breakfast? 8 sounds in that word. Breakfast. 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 And for those of you who have your brains switched up to the really high setting, think about what kind of sound you need in the middle of there. Look at how many vowels there are before that letter, and you will know whether you need a curly cut or a kicking cut, whether you need a C or a K. Excellent, my gang. You do need that. Well done.
I thought that because you said it.
Listen, breakfast. You've got an M in there. Why have you got an M in there?
No, I'm in mine.
Breakfast. Come on, you have not finished the word. Quick, quick, quick. Breakfast. I will help you sound it out again. Breakfast. Whoops. 8 sounds in that word. Breakfast. And we will, oh, I haven't got my pens, excuse me. Okay, so breakfast. Okay, so let's have a look at our first word, please. Check your spelling and check your sound buttons while we are doing it. So here is our word. Steam. Steam came out of the kettle. Steam. Steam. Remember, we did some work in year 1 that if it sounds like a S and a D sound at the beginning of a word, it never ever is in English. Never an S and a D together. Girls, always S and a T, even though it sounds like a D. So it should be steam, steam. Next word, breath. So we're using this sound to make the F sound now. So B-R-F. Miss Fothers held her breath to make sure there were no F's loose on that word. Breath. Okay. And then to our 2 longer words, we have got here, this is a long word. Screaming. Now, if you have put a kicking cut instead of a curly cut, I don't mind that so much, but I will tell you that when it has the R with it as well in English, it's always a curly cut. Okay, so if it is screw at the beginning of a word, it's always curly cut and not kicking cut. Sometimes it is in a word when it hasn't got the R, in a word, whoops, in a word like skip, it is an S and a K together, but not when it has the R with it as well. Screaming. Check your sound buttons, fix anything you got wrong, give yourself a tick if you got it right. Okay. And then our last really long word that had 8 phonemes in it. B, R, E, ast. Breakfast. Breakfast. I hope you have put a K, a kicking K, in the middle of this word because there are 2 vowels before, so it can't be a curly K. It needs to be a kicking K. And just a kicking cut on its own because it is a long vowel sound. Or it's not actually, it's making a short sound, but there are 2 vowels. Breakfast. Okay, can you fix what you got wrong? Put your sound buttons in the correct place. Okay, so today, we're not going to read a sentence, we're going to write a sentence only because it is a long sentence I want you to write. So you need to keep repeating it in your head so that you can get this sentence correct. Please remember, we are using this grapheme, this spelling pattern to write the F sound today. So I am looking for this to be nearly perfect today because the other words are easily sound outable. Okay, so here is your sentence. Just put my teeth back in, sorry. The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. So, Miss Fother's top tip, feather for ever, heaven for heaven, but breeze is a double E like you learnt in reception. Breeze is the double E, not the sound we've been doing today. So the sentence is, the feather floated to heaven on the breeze. The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. Okay, your turn to say it. I will say it first and then you say it. The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. Your turn. Excellent. Cobalt group have got that sentence. I hope you other groups got that as well. The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. I'm going to turn around now and just check how my children are doing with that. Okay. So, the feather floated to heaven on the breeze. And don't forget, right, look at me. Feather. Okay, the word is feather. 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 The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. And as a top tip, another top tip from Miss Fothers today, the Z sound is not just a Z on its own. Think about what else we've learnt that a Z comes with at the end of words. So when you get to breeze, that word breeze does not end with a Z. It has another letter that helps it make the Z sound because it's on the end of a word. Excellent. Pippa is on it today. She knew what came with the Z. Heaven. We're using this. Heaven. The word heaven, we mash it quite a lot when we say it. The word heaven is heaven. 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 It's not heaven, it's heaven. This is a tricky one. Miss Fothers is testing you today. Breeze. Breeze. So sometimes you're right. A Z sound is made by an S on its own, like was or his, but that's not how we make it this time. It's not a Z on its own. It's not an S on its own. What is the other way we have learned to make a Z sound on the end of words? You need the Z first though, don't you? It has got an F, but okay, so Z. The feather floated to heaven on the breeze. Miss Hussain, can you just give me a wave if you're ready to look at this, please? Are we still writing? Yes, Miss Hussain's group are on it. Let me just help you with the word breeze. So Z, the sound Z, we can make it with a Z, we can make it with a double Z, we can make it with an S on its own, and we can make it one more way, and that is the way that we are using for the word breeze today. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, let's have a look at our sentence. Okay, shh, shh, shh. Muttering children, small muttering children. Okay, here is our sentence. So I have underlined the words that we can't sound out, the and to. All the others we can sound out, so you should have these correct. The, feather. 3 digraphs in that word. The feather. Floated. The feather floated. Make sure you've got your sound buttons in the correct place. To heaven. Make sure you've got all of those phonemes in the word heaven. Like the word seven has an N at the end. On, so the feather floated to heaven on the e z. Did you get that way of spelling the z sound at the end of words? So if we have a look, my little chart that I just drew for you, the other way of making the z sound is a z and an e, sometimes after a long vowel sound at the end of words. So in a word like laze, I like to laze in the garden. Mrs. Hudson likes to laze in the bath. Okay, laze. So that is how you need to spell your z sound at the end of breeze. Let me show you again. Right, here is our sentence, our long sentence. Have a look really carefully at all of those sound buttons. Make sure you have got all these sound buttons correct. Make sure you've got all your digraphs correct. Could you have a little Willy Wonder around here, please, Miss Wilkinson, because we've got some mistakes over here. So the word feather is an F at the beginning and a TH in the middle. Feather. The word heaven has got a sneaky E that you don't always hear us when we say it in the sound of it. Heaven, heaven. And the word breeze is made by a Z and an E at the end of the word after a long vowel sound. So the feather floated to heaven on the breeze. Okay. That was tricky because we used our EA phoneme to make 2 different sounds today. And then Miss Fothers snuck in our reception double E sound right at the end. So we need to remember that when we look at this grapheme, sometimes it can say E, but sometimes it says A. Okay, so we don't eat breed for breakfast, we eat bread for breakfast. Okay, well done. I know you're all working hard because I check with your teachers, and I hope you're working hard at home because I get to see some of your phonics on Seesaw. So that is fantastic. So see you tomorrow. Bye.